Hi everyone, this is the Ask Annie podcast, Horse Girl reviews on products you use. First off, special thanks to YETI for providing the products used in this week's episode. I don't even know how to start this episode because I'm just so excited to tell you about my experience reviewing the Fully Loaded Bucket by YETI, which includes 4 unique products: the LoadOut Bucket, the LoadOut Utility Gear Belt, the LoadOut Caddy, and the LoadOut Lid. These 4 products together create one intense and useful tool, but let's dive into what makes each one of these products unique. The base product of the YETI Fully Loaded Bucket is, of course, the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket. At first inspection, this bucket is intense. According to the YETI website, the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket incorporates YETI's Sure Strong build, which makes it high impact resistant. It boasts a hefty hauler handle, which you might remember from episode 45 is also on the Roadie 24 cooler. This handle allowed me to easily tote the bucket from the back of the car to the horse trailer to the wash rack and beyond. The plastic handle around this strap kept my hand protected and supported as I moved it around the barn. Buckets are something that always seem to be needed around the barn, and I like to keep a few extras in my trailer when traveling just in case. And with how heavy duty the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket is, I don't worry about putting miles under its belt in the tack room of my trailer. The LoadOut 5-gallon bucket is approximately 15 7/8 inches tall, which is plenty high to stack large shampoo and conditioner bottles in for consolidated storage at the wash rack. I easily arranged 4 large bottles in the interior of the bucket and then proceeded to add the first addition to the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket. The next component of the Fully Loaded Bucket by YETI that I reviewed was the LoadOut Utility Gear Belt. Another notable attribute of the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket is that it features 4 anchor point tie-down slots, which can be used to secure it during travel, but can also be used to attach the LoadOut Utility Gear Belt. The LoadOut Utility Gear Belt is made of a thick canvas material and is connected to the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket by 4 dense yet maneuverable plastic tabs that easily slip into the anchor point tie-down slots, and then, with a simple twist, become removable from the bucket. The quad pocket design creates 4 separate compartments to better organize supplies. In my review of the YETI Fully Loaded Bucket, I decided to see how many of my grooming supplies I could fit into the different partitions to really test out its usability. The LoadOut Utility Gear Belt was a perfect place for my sponges, as the canvas design and open air access allowed for a perfect drying environment for my soggy sponges. I also appreciated the different layouts within the quad pocket design, which permitted for a variety of pocket sizes within the 4 main sections. The hitch point grid webbing was also a perfect spot for a hoof pick. The third component I added to configure the YETI Fully Loaded Bucket was the LoadOut Caddy. At first glance, the LoadOut Caddy looks exactly like a grooming tote, and as a horse person, I don't know how it could be used for anything different. It is seriously perfect for grooming tools. According to the YETI website, the LoadOut Caddy is crafted out of a durable polymer, and while solid, doesn't feel heavy or bulky to lift. The LoadOut Caddy also features a compressible handle, adding to its low profile and compact design. One of the most unique features of the LoadOut Caddy, however, is that it fits perfectly inside the top of the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket. The LoadOut 5-gallon bucket is shaped in that there's a small lip on the inside circumference of the bucket, which creates a perfectly secure spot for the LoadOut Caddy to rest safely, completely inside the bucket. This is such a practical feature, as I always feel like I'm short on space and really appreciate the compactness of these tools and how well they fit together. The fourth and final component that I added to the Fully Loaded Bucket really tops it off. Alright, bad joke, but the LoadOut Lid was a great product to end my review on. According to the YETI website, the LoadOut Lid is crafted out of a heft hex construction, which looks sort of like a honeycomb transparent pattern throughout the lid. The construction is not only intricate to look at, but it also can hold up to 300 pounds of pressure. The LoadOut Lid seems to suction to the interior of the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket, and the gussets along the edge of the lid really remind me of that along the mag slide lid that I reviewed in episode 45. Once on, the LoadOut Lid didn't budge on the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket and securely contained all of the contents inside the bucket. Once I was ready to remove the lid, however, it was extremely easy to pull up on the release tab along one edge of the LoadOut Lid. I was pleasantly surprised that even with the secure fit of the LoadOut Lid, I was able to completely remove it from the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket without assistance. Another huge perk of the LoadOut Lid is that it is specifically designed to fit over the LoadOut Caddy. Remember the retractable handle we talked about earlier? Well, this benefit goes a long way in allowing the LoadOut Lid to fit neatly on the LoadOut 5-gallon bucket and over top of the LoadOut Caddy. Once all of the components of the fully loaded bucket had been combined with each other, I stepped back to admire this impressive and comprehensive tool. In my review process, I was able to find intentional and useful purposes for all of the components of YETI's fully loaded bucket and how it fits seamlessly into my equestrian life. I really admire how YETI made a common product into a multi-purpose, durable, and compact tool. The LoadOut 5-gallon bucket itself was sturdy and strong, and the addition of the hefty Holler handle was a key factor to its usability. The LoadOut utility gear belt made great use of the exterior of the bucket and allowed for open-air, easily accessible storage. The LoadOut Caddy was a perfect grooming box, and the retractable handle created simple mobility, yet added to its compact design. Lastly, the LoadOut Lid securely sealed everything off and even allowed for other pieces of equipment to be stacked on top of the fully loaded bucket with its technical design. For more information on YETI's fully loaded bucket, please visit YETI.com. That's YETI.com for more information. Thanks for tuning in. Learn more about the Ask Annie podcast by following us on Facebook and Instagram at Ask Annie Podcast. Have a suggestion for a product you'd like me to use in an upcoming episode? Email me at askanniepodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on any of our social media pages. Find even more Ask Annie episodes anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and many more. The Ask Annie podcast is a production of the Equine Podcast Network, an entity of Active Interest Media and the Equine Network.